Hi there, welcome to the first episode today of my 10-minute Mon. The topic of this 10-minute Mon is a recap of yesterday's events and the lead up to the pro-UK rally held by Unionists in George Square, Glasgow. Now, before the event took place, in fact, as soon as it was announced, we had those who are evidently not Unionists try to claim it was something it wasn't. Now, any postings, etc. that I seen for this demonstration and rally were calling it a pro-UK rally. I was approached quite early by the organisers of the rally and asked if I would participate by speaking at it. And due to the nature of how it was being marketed as a pro-UK rally, I was more than happy to offer my support as a unionist. Who wouldn't be? But almost immediately, the narrative, which seemed to be driven initially by citizen Tommy Sheridan, who, funnily enough, was filmed at this thing yesterday with a Costa coffee cup, which is on Costa being on the banned list with these nutcases that want to ban everything that they feel supports Israel, and at the same time sporting the Free Palestine t-shirt, which I thought was quite funny. But anyway, Tommy decided that the planned pro-independence march that was held, which was booked to happen on the same day in Edinburgh and had been planned months before, should be postponed or cancelled to allow people to go and counter this pro-UK rally. Now, if you counter a pro-UK rally, then you must by definition be anti-UK. And that's not a narrative these people like to draw, because they like to try and condemn people at all times. And the narrative became that this pro-UK rally was somehow a far-right, fascist, Nazi, racist rally. You name it, it was flung at us. I think the only word that wasn't flung at was Islamophobic, but it probably came along at some point, because these words are used to demonise anybody that doesn't have the exact same views as these people who on the left are either communist, virgin of communism, or want to be as close to it as possible. So anybody that's known this wee bag here has to be told they're racist, they're far right, or Nazi, and all these terrible words. When in fact, the truth is, the people that were in attendance and the people organising it, and certainly, as I can speak for myself as a speaker at the rally, are just pro-UK. So that was a narrative set. What we've seen in the run-up to the rally was media, even politicians, and obviously all the lefty groups, all use this narrative for the weeks and probably month and a half running up to this rally, and stirring up opposition to this rally. And thankfully, I seen nobody injured, although there was attempts at violence by one group who tried to gain access to the pro-UK side of the George Square, a group named by many outlets as Celtic's Green Brigade. And what's their other ultra boys? The boys or something, the older ones, you know, the fatter ones, the ones that are probably my shape, they're called the boys. They tried to get into the square and were kettled by the police. And I must admit, having witnessed this, they actually looked as if they were quite happy to be kettled by police, because that seemed to be a easier thing to deal with than actually going into a crowd reportedly between 500 and 600 unionists. However, if anybody had been hurt yesterday, that would have lain on the shoulders of every media outlet, MP, council leader who was whisking up this hatred against the pro-UK rally. But thankfully, and to be fair, much of the thanks for there being no major instance in people injured has to go with the police. And they didn't get everything right. I had a certain run-in, I had a run-in with a certain cop as I was coming outside the square to make a phone call, and he was feet away from me, and he advised this young sort of hippie looking lady not to go in there, to go around the other side, because that side there was the Rangers protest. And I challenged them, and I said, why have you described that as such? Because it's evidently not a Rangers or football thing. Yes, there will be Rangers fans there, Oddly enough, during my time there, I became aware that there was Celtic fans, and some Hibs fans came through from Edinburgh to stand in the pro-Union side. However, this copper decided to declare it as a Rangers thing, which is just ridiculous. But despite that, I must say the police handled the situation most of the day, apart from that occasion. There might have been some other silly things that happened, but my viewings were the police handled the kettling of these Celtic fans very, very well, and driving them up to the opposite end of the square, which is where they could have come in themselves if they were actually, their intentions were to join the counter protest. I found it odd, seen footage later on where they were still kettling them up the other end, and the lefty tree hugger types, they were shouting, let them be, let them free or something to try and get them away. I've then since seen a post on Twitter disgusted that the police held back these Celtic fans' intent and violence because the police were just defending and protecting Nazis. Now, what that post tells you is that that man felt the police shouldn't have stopped those intent and violence, and he should have let them attack the group that he views as Nazis. Well, that was me. So this cretin thinks the police should have given them free run of George Square to come and attack people like me. Oh, and my wee Auntie Mary that was there. You know, she would have got it as well, because she had the audacity to wear a Union Jack hat. And this guy, and probably many like him, felt we were fair game and the police should not have stopped a group of about 40, maybe 50 tops, coming in to the square to attack us physically. We shouldn't be protected. It's ridiculous the way some people in this country view anybody with slightly different opinions than them, and it's disgusting. So that was the lead up to it, and some of the things that happened during it, and what that led to many demanding that people should come out of their houses and stand against this pro-union rally. And I imagine the way it was hyped up would have put some people off coming to the pro-UK rally, and that's another thing that it was designed to do. And even getting to George Square yesterday was quite daunting. I travelled in a taxi, so it could be dropped off right at the square. But I noticed in the streets surrounding and off the square that you couldn't see from the square, there were police vans set aside in all different areas to try and keep an eye on people even travelling. Someone even told me that they had to put police on the subway stations so people could get out and on their way safely. That's what was driven by those who oppose the pro-union and pro-UK rallies in this country. And it's despicable. And when you consider and take George Square, if you remember during the the failed independence referendum of 2014, for weeks or months before that, the Yes campaigners, the separatists, they held rallies and speeches every day, every single day without fail. And they tried to rename it Freedom Square, if you remember. So they feel as if they have this ownership of George Square. And on the night the results were declared, or after the results were declared, and the victory was for the Unionists. Unionists done the natural thing and headed to George Square to celebrate. But even then, the separatists didn't want to do that. And I've seen people have Union Jacks pulling from them. We've seen footage of Union Jacks being burnt that night, and we've seen violence in George Square because the Unionists could not let go. And they still can't let go. And what's actually happening here is these people are scared of the rise of unionism because the party tasked with getting them independence has failed them miserably. That is the SNP. And now they see their dreams shattered of having independence. They don't want to see them die. And they fear any uprising of unionism because it will kill their dreams forever. And have no qualms whatsoever. This is what is going on in Scotland right now. And as I said yesterday at the rally, let's do more of them. And everybody that was there, bring a friend. And when we have a third one, those friends bring a friend. And by the time we do our fourth or fifth rally, as this celebration of being in the United Kingdom, they won't even stand in the same postcode as us. So let's do that. I'm going to show you some bits of the footage yesterday when I was speaking, and I'll give you some more comments once the video's done.
We've got a man who needs no introduction really. His name is Craig Houston. Come to the stage, Craig. Give a big round of applause, guys.
Let's make some noise! Hi, people at the back. Welcome to our live. Could you put that down, please? I'll try to see. Please, thanks. Welcome to a live edition of my 10-minute moan, and I promise it will not be any more than 10 minutes. And they all turned up to hear it. That's nice, wasn't it? You people are my people, and those folk are jealous. This here is a document that identifies me across the world. And I believe that every person that has one of these should be the priority of the country that issued them. And that doesn't mean just British. That means if you have a German one, then Germany look after you. An American one, America look after you. And our concerns, if you hold one of these, should be paramount to the people running our country. And it's not. But it should be. And I'll tell you my concerns. And before I will tell you how we fix them. Know them at the back. They've not got a clue how to fix anything. They've had a go for 17 years and look at the shite hole we're in. Okay? I have four main concerns. My first concern is not the immigrant. I know plenty. Good people, honest people, people with standards. However, I have a problem with the levels of immigration. Now I get told I'm far right, I'm racist, I'm a fascist, I'm a Nazi for these people over here for having that concern. But let me share a secret. For 20 years, every government that's came into the United Kingdom has shared my same fear. Because every one of them has put in their manifesto that we have too much immigrants. Yet none of them have sorted it. So if I'm a fascist, I'm a Nazi, and I'm right wing, then so is every Tory and Labour government of the last 20 years. We've had immigration levels 30 to 50,000 since the war, all the way through the 90s. Most of us lived through the 90s. Some of us can even remember the 90s. However, there wasn't a problem. Now we have 1.2 million coming in. That's out of control. That's my first concern that needs sorted. They're trying to outshout me because they know I'm telling the truth. My second concern is not the asylum seeker. I have a lovely family that I deal with as a volunteer. Good Afghani people. The man, the dad, helped our forces in Afghanistan as an interpreter against the Taliban. When our forces came out, he came with us. And he's a good man. He's a man with standards. He wouldn't stand over there shouting at me. And he is an asylum seeker. And people like him deserve asylum in our country. But I have a problem with asylum. Because we have fake asylum. Let me tell you how easy it is to come here as an asylum seeker. You pay 50 quid to EasyJet from any country in Europe. You get to passport control and you say, I seek asylum. And you get put in a process. So why are thousands every month coming and paying £5,000 and coming in dinghies and putting themselves in the back of trucks? That makes no sense to me. We do not have a problem with asylum seekers. We have a problem with fake asylum seekers. Now my third problem is housing. And I can see amongst these people I know, people that serve this country, and they get treated like shite when they want a house. And I know that is not a big problem, saying we have a problem with housing, because these idiots in our parliament called the SNP, called a national housing disaster. They said it was a problem only months ago, but I am a racist. I'm a fascist for saying the same as them. They can fund it. And we deserve better. What we need is telling our children and driving our children, infusing them and educating them so they can build the houses of the future and stop the immigration problem, because guess what? That isn't helping housing. And the last problem I've got is the amount of knife crime in our streets. I'm a racist. Hiya. You're a crackpot. Big Christie's here. Big Christie's here with the people. The gun platoon are over there. They hate it, don't they? They absolutely hate it. Right, my fourth problem is knife crime. We saw 3 young, beautiful girls murdered in the streets of Southport. And what did our Prime Minister do? He spoke for 3 minutes. He then spoke for another 17 minutes about far-right fascist protests. Never once handling what to do with a knife crime. And I found something out by default. In this country right now, there was a bill passed in February by the Tory party, and I ain't telling you they're any better, by the way, and that came into force a week ago. We're currently in an amnesty programme for handing back machetes, zombie knives and big knives over 8 inches. And if you take them back to the police, they give you some money. Because after that 29-day window, it will be against the law to make, sell or own any of these knives. And nobody knows. Because our Prime Minister, that communist guy that took the job a couple of weeks ago, the one that they all love, by the way, he forgot to tell us. How crazy is that? We've got one of the biggest new knife laws coming into our country when the 29-day window's done, and he didn't tell anybody. So, that's my problems, and I believe somebody stole my passport. If you hold one of these, I'm bet good money that your concerns are the same, or you wouldn't be here today. So how do we sort them? Well, I'll tell you my view on it, and it may be right, it may be wrong. I'll tell you my opinion. We do what we're doing today over and over and over again until these people listen to our concerns. And the next time we bring a pal, and the time after that they bring a pal, and see by the time we've done 4 or 5 of them, they'll not be in the same postcode as us. Then we take a run up to Holyrood. There's elections in 2026. And for those that watch my programmes on YouTube, you'll know I'm standing. And I hope loads of people like me stand. And I don't care the colour of the rosette. I don't care if they're Reform, SDP, or blue or red rosette, or even independent. As long as I'm not a yellow or green one, I'll stand beside you. Because we know how to sort this shit out. And what we'll do is we'll educate our young to fill the jobs that they keep telling us we've got a skill shortage. We'll build houses for the ex-service people on the streets, and we'll sort out this economy. Because we will spend 5 years in that horrible place called Holyrood talking about serious stuff, not about independence. We will bury the talk of independence for 5 years and sort the shite out that they've caused in 17. Who's with me? Come on. All right, Peter. There's my security. Right. So, I think that was a 10-minute moan. I hope you all enjoyed it. And unless you're Hamza Yousaf, unless you're that crackpot communist in Downing Street, and unless you're that mob over there that don't know the difference between right and wrong, everyone else, have a great day. Cheery bye now.
Give it up for Craig Houston! What a 10-minute moan that was! I hope that'll appear on the YouTube channel tomorrow.
So there you go. I actually fairly enjoyed my day yesterday. The feeling in the crowd was fantastic. The feedback from the crowd was humbling, and I love being in the company of people of the same mind as me. People who are proud to be British. People who just want Britain and Scotland to be a better place. I am of these people. And it was great yesterday, given the honour to stand in front of them and give my opinions. And I'm sure most, if not all, the exact same opinions as me. So unless you are these people who want to call me and my people far-right, fascists, racists, Nazis, because we want a better Scotland and a better United Kingdom.
Everyone else, Have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.